for staying consistent or growing even a little bit, video over video over video over video, and your channel's correlating with the growth, even if it's small, that is a good sign, a sign that connection is happening and that's something it can grow from.
I definitely believe that, because think of that. So like, let's say you have 100 views a video. Like, put yourself in a room with 100 people. It completely changes the dynamic of what that number means. It's 100 actual people who are sitting there viewing your content. And if you're getting that consistently, that means you are actually impacting a group of 100 people or 50 people. And even if the number seems small in comparison to like all the videos on YouTube, you still are having an impact. And the whole thing with YouTube is it takes time to build. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. Some channels do take off, but I almost think it's better to go through the paces and actually have a channel that takes a little bit longer to build that momentum, because you learn so much when you first are producing on YouTube. And those people, even if it's a few, you're still going to be getting some feedback from that. And you're going to start learning what you want to do with your channel, which direction you want to push it. If you were to have a video that took off and got 5 million views, your first video on YouTube, you would have no idea what to do with that amount of attention. And
Right.
There are channels where this happens, where they explode, they have massive boost. Maybe a big creator featured them in their video and drove a bunch of attention to them. The issue is, what do you do with that attention now that you have the eyeballs? Having a channel where it's more of a sustained growth over time, you're learning how to deal with the attention and what works and what doesn't, and what you should be producing, how to use your camera, your lighting, your audio, like all the actual technical aspects. You're building those skills at the same time as dealing with what the content is. Right. Because like, as a YouTube creator, or any creator doing video online, it's such a big ask, because you have to wear so many hats. In a production company, you might be just doing camera. On YouTube, you're doing camera, light, audio. You have to come up with your story. You have to edit. You have to figure out how to distribute that, how to do your title, your thumbnail, your description, and how to deal with all the feedback that you're getting, and like how to do that video after video and make it so that it's a channel that people want to keep coming back to.
It's actually really motivating to hear that, because it's kind of like, I mean, I draw parallels to fitness a lot, but you have to learn how to move before you can learn how to get strong, right? And you know this from, you train all the time, you're active, you go outside. You could extrapolate this to anything, to getting involved in hiking, to mountaineering, to overlanding. You have to just take those initial steps that teach you a little bit about the mechanics of what you're doing. Because if, I mean, I think about this channel, right? If this video, let's say, hit 1 million views, I would have a lot of people that would be confused about what I was offering, because it isn't a channel about YouTube growth or about film production. And if they came on through that window and then found, conversations about artificial intelligence or how to increase your VO2 max, those million people that could at a later date come across at the right time might come too early and then be confused and not know what is going on. And so that refinement process of over and over making the mistakes and the errors and getting, like you said, things like the thumbnail down, how to write a good title, how to write a good description, things that I actually just watch and learn from you over and over and try to emulate. Can't learn that too fast.
I mean, it's just like fitness. Like, you can't just jump in the deep end and run a marathon. It's not going to happen. Or like, go climb a mountain. I'm actually prepping right now to go climb a mountain in Canada that I've been prepping for months. But the actual skills of mountaineering, it took me like multiple climbs with like highly trained professionals to learn what I need to learn to be able to like take on different mountains and be comfortable taking on different mountains. And so it's everything in life. Like, there is this kind of period where you need to like focus on the craft and figure out what it is you're doing. It's kind of like the seasons of being a YouTuber. Like, you have your discovery season, and then once you figure that out, you get into your growth season, and that's where you just buckle down and hustle. And there was a period, I want to say maybe it's 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, where I was like 2 videos a week religiously, like just going for it. And I knew exactly what I was doing. I was pumping out content, and I saw my numbers explode. And then, I had children. I have a daughter who's 2.5. My son is 7 months now. And so like, it's completely changed. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to work from like 5 a.m. till midnight every day anymore. Like I used to, because I would do production company stuff, work with my wife, and then I would do YouTube on the side, and I would work 7 days a week. And I did that for a couple of years. I killed myself. But to do that, go through that process, now I have the momentum going where I can take a step back and take weekends off and, you know, wake up at 5 with my kids, and then at 8 o'clock go in the office and be done at 5. So I have very strict kind of schedule now that I have more going on in my life. But you can't approach each season and be like, try to be an expert at it. So you can't start your channel and be like, okay, I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be able to get millions of views on every video, and I'm just going to put out, you know, tons and tons of content without actually going through that and figuring out what you're doing first.
Right. When, I guess this isn't devil's advocate, but let's say this growth process, right? We're establishing that there's a timeline here, and it's longer probably than most people want to accept, but there's this underlying benefit to that, right? That you understand the process, you can get your systems down, you can decide when and where to bring on additional help if it warrants it, because in the beginning you're wearing all the hats, you're doing all these things. What do you tell someone who is motivated, right? They want to do this, it's underway, their process is going, but they're not making any money doing it. And they're also grappling with the fact that it's going to take a long time for that to become a money-generating, revenue-generating thing. What should they be focusing on to help guide them through those initial phases?
I mean, the biggest thing is first figuring out, you know, what you need out of, like, say, if you need to make money and you're not making money off of your channel, well, you need to figure out, well, what's the bare minimum you need to be able to live? And then how much time is that going to take? So it's really coming down to like budgeting your time and figuring out, okay, I need to work, you know, this job, you know, this many hours to be able to, you know, pay my monthly bills and be able to keep moving forward. That gives me this amount of time. Now with that time, you just need to have more of a schedule and actually like focus on creating videos versus like watching YouTube educators or sitting around reading books or, you know, doing all these things that people say that are going to help you grow your channel, when the reality is you need to make videos. That's the biggest thing. You just need to keep making videos and not think so big and not think I need 500 videos, this, and this. Instead, make a video, see how it, you know, release it, and then figure out, okay, how can I make my next video better? What's one thing I can improve? And if you just focus on one thing with each video, maybe it's your lighting, maybe it's your audio, maybe it's the way you're adding B-roll into your footage, maybe it's your storytelling. Like there's so many components, but try to just focus on one improvement each video. And then within a year, you'd be surprised at how far your channel will go. Right. And, you know, maybe by that point, you'll be able to step away from the other jobs that you have to do to make ends meet and be able to take on, just focus on being a creator full time. Because there are a lot of opportunities, even with smaller creators, to make money off of this platform. And that's, you know, it doesn't take much to be able to get yourself in a position where you can start earning off your channel.